Bitcoin SB is worth 458.33 rands per coin. The current price range is 426.57 462.41. The previous day's close was 441.20. The change was plus 17.13 plus 3.88. ZAR to BSV Bitcoin SB price forecast for the near future and month. Bitcoin SB is expected to cost 415 rands on Friday, June 16, with a high of 444 rands and a low of 386 rands. On Monday, June 19, the price of Bitcoin SB was 404 rands, with a high of 432 rands and a low of 376 rands. Bitcoin SB is expected to cost 399 rands on Tuesday, June 20, with a high of 427 rands and a low of 371. On Wednesday, June 21, the price of Bitcoin SB was 395 rands, with a high of 423 rands and a low of 367 rands. Bitcoin SB is expected to cost 338 rands on Thursday, June 22, with a high of 362 rands and a low of 314. On Friday, June 23, the Bitcoin SB price was 332 rands, with a high of 355 rands and a low of 309 rands. Bitcoin SB is expected to cost 332 rands on Monday, June 26, with a high of 355 rands and a low of 309 rands. On Tuesday, June 27, Bitcoin SB was estimated to cost 317 rands, high 339, low 295. Bitcoin SB is expected to cost 322 rands on Wednesday, June 28, with a high of 345 rands and a low of 299 rands in about 14 days. On Thursday, June 29, Bitcoin SB was estimated to cost 296 rands, with a high of 317 rands and a low of 275 rands. Bitcoin SB is expected to cost 295 rands on Friday, June 30, with a high of 316 rands and a low of 274 rands. On Monday, July 3, Bitcoin SB was estimated to cost 295 rands, with a high of 316 rands and a low of 274. Bitcoin SB is expected to cost 301 rands on Tuesday, July 4, with a high of 322 rands and a low of 280 rands. Bitcoin SB is expected to cost 297 rands on Wednesday, July 5, with a high of 318 rands and a low of 276 rands in 3 weeks. Bitcoin SB is expected to cost 284 rands on Thursday, July 6, with a high of 304 rands and a low of 264 rands. On Friday, July 7, Bitcoin SB was estimated to cost 285 rands, with a high of 305 rands and a low of 265. Bitcoin SB is expected to cost 298 rands on Monday, July 10, with a high of 319 rands and a low of 277 rands. On Tuesday, July 11, the Bitcoin SB gauge cost 302 rands, with a high of 323 rands and a low of 281 rands. Bitcoin SB is expected to cost 303 rands on Wednesday, July 12, with a high of 324 rands and a low of 282 rands in about a month. On Thursday, July 13, the Bitcoin SB gauge cost 306 rands, with a high of 327 and a low of 285. Bitcoin SB is expected to cost 306 rands on Friday, July 14, with a high of 327 rands and a low of 285. On Monday, July 17, the Bitcoin SB gauge cost 292 rands, with a high of 312 rands and a low of 272. Bitcoin SB price forecast for 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026, and 2027. Bitcoin SB is expected to cost 647 rands in June 2023, with a high of 724 rands and a low of 274. They discovered the median cost of $4.85. Bitcoin SV price gauge in months and 295 change for June. 54.4% Bitcoin SV forecast for July 2, 2023 starts at 295 rands. Goes up to 327 rands, then goes down to 231. He arrived at the cost middle of 275. Bitcoin SV prices are expected to rise in the coming months. With a 248 change on July 15, they arrived at the midpoint of cost 259.9% Bitcoin SV cost projection for August 2023 at the outset cost of 248 rands, excessive cost 280 while low cost 244. Bitcoin SV prices are speculating on a Monson 262 change on August 5. Estimated Bitcoin SV price of 6% in September 2023. They reached at the midpoint of cost 253 at the outset cost of 262 rands, excessive cost 268 and low cost 233. Bitcoin SV prices are expected to rise in the coming months. With a 250% increase scheduled for September. 4.6% Bitcoin SV cost forecast for October 2023 at the outset cost of 250 rands, excessive cost 250, and low cost 197. He arrived at the cost 227 midway. Bitcoin SV prices are expected to rise in the coming months. With a 212% increase on October 15. Estimated Bitcoin SV price of 2% in November 2023. First and foremost, the cost of 212 rands was extravagant, while the cost of 200 was deemed to be in the center. Bitcoin SV price forecast for the next few months. With a 0.4% movement on November 1, Bitcoin has to be the first and foremost cost projection for December 2023 at 215 rands, extravagant cost 245 while low cost 213. They identified the middle value of cost 226. Bitcoin SV price prediction for the months and 229 change for December. 6.5% Bitcoin SV is estimated to cost 229 rands in January 2024, with an excessive cost of 235 and a low cost of 205, with a middle value of cost 222. Bitcoin SV price forecast for the months and a 3.9% change in January. Bitcoin SV price forecast for February 2024. First and foremost, the excessive cost is 220 rands, while the low cost is 172. He arrived at the cost middle of